Hello everybody, my name is Cameron Lyons and welcome to the first YouTube video of my channel. So for my first video, I'm going to be walking you through my 2017 album. Later on my channel, I will be doing process videos of this 6x12 kind of layout. So I just wanted my first video to be a walkthrough to kind of introduce you to my style, and hopefully if you like it, you will subscribe to see more process videos coming up very soon. So let's get started. So I use this album here is from Studio Calico. I initially started the year with a Felicity Jane album, but when I started doing my layouts, the rings were too small and I wasn't able to fit everything in it, so I switched to this one, which I really enjoy. So this 2017 title page I copied almost directly from somebody named Jen Shao on YouTube. I saw her video and I really like how she put the 12 new chapters, 365 new chances. So I decided to go ahead and do a similar thing, but I added these numbers, which she didn't have. So when I first started my album, I started doing weekly layouts, but since it was my first time scrapbooking, when I came back to it, I decided that I didn't really like the way it looked. So when I go through, you might see some things don't really look like they're together. There's not dates or weekly numbers because I ended up just piecing it together. But this is my first scrapbook layout or Project Life layout here, and I had subscribed to Ali Edwards Story Kit, so you can see some of the elements. The first one that I got was the Bond Story Kit, so that's where these ones are. And I'm pretty proud with how this first one turned out. Looking back at it now, I probably wouldn't use the wood veneer with the cork embellishments together necessarily, but it doesn't look too bad, and it's just the first one I did, so I'm pretty happy with it. So here I pieced together two separate Project Life layouts. You can see I had to cut this 4x6 one because I used to have a different kind of pocket, but it still looks just as fine as normal. These page protectors, I just cut one of the 4 3x4s, cut it in half to add a little bit more journaling and photo spots. These Avery tabs, I love the way they look on inserts. Hopefully I'll still be able to use them with the 6x12 layout. So initially when I started Project Life, I was printing from Canon Selphy, and the photo paper is actually very glossy, so it's hard to stamp on. So in the first couple layouts you might notice I don't stamp that much on pictures because it's very hard to make it look clear. But later on you will notice that I turned out to love stamping on pictures because it's one of my favorite embellishments. So another thing I like about Project Life is the ability to include physical elements like this. This is a Valentine's Day card I got from my mom, so I just hole punched it. There's an extra hole punch here because of my old album had a hole punch in the middle, but it still turned out fine. The acrylic word Bond here you might recognize from Ali Edwards Story Kits. This is actually the only acrylic word I've used in my Project Life album, but hopefully this year I'll be able to incorporate them a lot more. I have a lot in store for them. A little bit more stamping on photos. It's still, you might see it's a little bit broken up, but I don't mind the way that looks. I used to do this a lot, put a smaller photo and then do some journaling underneath, but I started watching Amy Gretchen's videos, and you'll see later on how I kind of adapted that to a different sort of way that she does, which I really love the way that it looks. So this layout was my spring break, and initially I had a page protector that has 12 2x2 pockets in it because there was a lot of photos that happened this spring break. But when I kept going back to it, it looked a little bit too busy and just crowded and cluttered, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I ended up scrapping that and putting in this 6x8 photo, and then adding this journaling card here to describe some of the pictures I wasn't able to include. And I really like how nice and simple and clean this layout looks now that I changed it, so I'm happy I made that change. Here I printed this word sunrise on vellum, and I wasn't aware that if you glue vellum it will show through, so I put my tape runner on it, and it's very visible. You can see the tape here, but it's just a mistake I had to learn. Now I realize, oh, you should probably staple vellum type things so you can't see the glue, but You probably already know that if you're watching this, but it's something I had to learn during my first experience. So these are still from Ali Edwards Bond Kit. These labels were a printable file from Studio Calico that I purchased, and I really love using them. I kind of petered out using them later on, but I need to get back into that. This was a very simple layout from studying finals week. I really just based it on these two cards. So there's 5 things that say today was, today was, today was, and then this thing says 5 things. So I just added 5 photos, summarized it up in 1 word of journaling here, and then a little bit more here. So for example, the first photo is Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, long hours spent at the science building preparing for my finals this week. So just a nice overview of a pretty simple week, but I really love how it turned out. This one here, I printed off this was a physical card from an Ali Edwards kit, and I wanted to put some journaling on it, so I tried to print it, but you can see the type goes over the yes a little bit. I was a little disappointed at first, but I was able to add this washi tape, which coordinates well with the red colors, as well as the blue and the pinks here. So I really still like how that one turned out. So this one, you can see, is the first full with the 12 2x2s, and when I first did this, you'll see later on, I realized there's a trick to these kind of things, but I didn't know that in this one, so it looks a little busy, but normally now, if I do a full layout like this, I would include some see-through embellishments, so it doesn't look as crowded, but there was a lot of pictures from this week, so I ended up just putting them all in, and it doesn't look particularly bad, it's just a little busy for my taste. And same with on the back. Again, no see-through embellishments, so it's a little busy, but all in all, not disappointed with how the layout looks. It still looks nice, but just I learned something from doing that. Here you can see I've been stamping more on photos because I got a new printer, so I'm able to do that kind of stamping now, which I really love the way stamping looks on photos. It's a perfect, simple embellishment. So here, actually, my printer doesn't print 6x8 photos, so I just use cardstock instead. I just print my pictures on the cardstock, and once you slip it into the pocket, you can barely even tell that it's not a actual photo paper, which I think is really nice. So then here, I was taking summer classes, and a lot of the pictures were kind of repetitive and the same kind of thing, so I went back and did a lot of splicing in this section. So this is actually a combination of probably about 3 weeks. This is May 30th. This is very early May. I got this PS4. I started playing this game. It was very fun. But I still like the way it turns out. There's this pink here, which matches the pink here, here, and even here. And I love the way this chipboard piece looks. So these chipboards are actually from Ali Edwards Lens Kit. I really love how it looks with the journaling inside, as well as just a simple quote. The only problem is, because I wanted the lens on both sides, it got a little thick, so I tried to staple it, and it looks pretty ugly. But so in the future, I'd probably use the fuse tool, but wasn't available to me at this time. But now I know that you probably shouldn't staple it like that, or it might look kind of dumb. So you can see here, this is the change that I made actually. Amy Gretchen does this all the time. She prints out a 3x3 photo and adds an inch of journaling, and I love the way that looks. You'll see later on it happens a lot in my layouts, and in 2018 it will probably happen a lot because it's just the perfect way to get a little bit of journaling, and it kind of breaks up the pattern of just pictures. So I really like how that looks. So this picture here is actually, I stole it from somebody's Snapchat story, so I made sure to give her photo credits at the bottom. I didn't have a lot of pictures this week, so I decided, wow, I like that picture, why wouldn't I put it in? So I let her know, and she thought that was fine with her, but I love the way this looks. This is probably one of my favorite pattern papers. It's from an Illustrated Faith, I forget, You Are Loved, I think, paper pad, and it's just, I would use it in every layout if I could, but I try and conserve it, so I think it really works nice with the colors. That's why I made it into this layout. So after I went after I did my classes in the summer, I went to summer camp, and summer camp lasts for 2 months, but since I'm not able to be on my phone that much, I decided just to do 2 layouts from camp, and that kind of encapsulates the 2 months there. So this is just some really nice bullet point journaling. It says, I am. So for example, I am missing mom and dad. I am sleeping in a bunk bed. I am not teaching archery this year. Just kind of overview of who I am and what's going on at camp. Kind of the same idea of this is me card, just explaining who I am and what I'm doing at camp. I use this journaling card from Ali Edwards' Time Kit. There's 4 different types of camp, so I just did a little bit of journaling about what happened in each of them there. This is another, probably my favorite layout in the whole album. It documents my family went on a hike together when I got out of camp. And so there was a lot of pictures from it, even more than I was able to include. So I decided to do the 2 4x6, a small insert, and then end it with this big 6x8 here. So these stickers were from a Felicity Jane kit, stamp, the geotag here, which I love the see-through elements, and the white journaling cards here break up the photos really nicely. I love how that turns out. And then this card was from an Ali Edwards kit, and I was thinking I probably would never use it in a normal layout, like in one of these kind of spots. So I decided to insert it as an insert, and then on the back I typed out the journaling from the hike. So what the Jasper Skyline Trail, who went, how long it was, and then how I felt during each of the days. And I really love the phrase, love this view. I think it works well with the entire layout of the hike. And then this is just a nice picture from one of the days we were hiking, and I love the if found, please return to Jasper National Park, because I loved being there. There's nowhere I would rather be than in nature, so I really love this layout. This is not exactly a 3x3, it's a little bit smaller because I had a little bit more to say about the photo, so I just trimmed off an extra ½ an inch or some kind of thing like that. But I love the way the colors in this one work together as well. With the pop of teal, I thought that was not colors I would usually use together, but I think it ended up looking quite nice. Here, another card I was able to include from my mom. She sent it to me when I went back to school. My friend was helping me move, so just another quick journaling about what was going on. This card was actually from an Ali Edwards kit, but the card itself was kind of grayish tinged on the paper, so it wasn't really working for me, the gray with such as this white journaling card or the white cardstock I was using. So since I subscribed to the to the stamp subscription and the story kit, I received the digital kit for free. So I was able to go onto my computer and print off this card on white cardstock, which I think made it look a lot nicer because it matched more with my embellishments that I was using. So I love how that I was able to do that because of that digital kit there. This layout is actually not finished. I got stumped on this card and the things I was doing. This picture is from a movie I watched with my cousin, and it just didn't end up working, so I might change it later, but as of right now it's unfinished, just a little insert thing that I will eventually have to come back to. This layout, I realized I didn't have any pictures of people in it, and I think that people are a really important focal point when you're doing layouts, but it still ends up looking pretty good. This is not a color scheme I would use often with the brown stickers here, but I still like the way it turns out. I was able to journal a little bit and a little bit around this picture here. This is from that video game that I play. So here I purchased a white gel pen and some white ink, and I was just so happy with how it looks when I write and stamp on darker photos. It's beautiful. I love it very much. This is actually Thanksgiving, which is why giving thanks, I thought it worked very well there. A little bit of journaling about Thanksgiving here. And then I put in this heart to kind of tie it in with the colors here. So it kind of went through the spread a little more nicely. Here is just an average day of school or week of school, my friend's car, somebody left me a note on the whiteboard, just average kind of thing. This paper pad is from Crate Paper Floral or something, I believe. I'm not quite sure, but I love all the different patterns in that. You'll see it a lot more later on as well. This was the week of my birthday, so I included this. My mom and I went to a kind of amusement park, so this was the wristband that we received, so I thought it just stuck nicely in there. The 20, I stole this 20 from my mother's December daily, and she was very hesitant to give it to me, but I think it looks very nice with this layout, so I'm quite happy and thankful that she was able to loan it to me there. So in this layout, I wanted to put something on the back of the 20 so it wasn't just that brown kind of color. So when I did that, I wanted to make sure I had some continuity, so I used the 2 pattern papers over here for a little journaling about the week. This cork embellishment is from Ali Edwards' Give Story kit, and this journaling card is actually from, both journaling cards are from the Week in the Life kit I purchased on the Black Friday sale when it was on sale, which is an amazing sale. I got a lot of stuff. Oh, and this page protector I made with the fuse tool so I could have the 4x6 on top and the 3x4s on the bottom, because usually it's 4x6 on the bottom and 3x4s on the top, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit so it wasn't too repetitive, and I really love how this looks. I would like to do it more often, but I'm doing a different size this year, so it might not work out. This is a very simple layout. I love how this pops of blue kind of looks in. This is the week my lovely boyfriend asked me to be his girlfriend, so I decided just to include it. So the journaling is about 1, writing essays for school, and 2, boyfriend asking me out, I guess, type thing. So here again, the 3x3 with the journaling on the bottom. I really love how that looks. This chipboard is from Ali Edwards' Details kit, and the kind of white, you probably can't see it on the video, but there's little cross textures on it, is from an add-on to one of the kits. I'm not sure which one, but I didn't want it to be too photo heavy, so I decided to add this see-through element there. And so then on the back, unfortunately I didn't line it up very well, so in order for one of them to be straight, the other one is a little bit crooked, but it doesn't bother me that much unless I think about it a lot. But other than that, it's not bad. So this is a little bit of journaling about my last final. So we wrote our final in the morning. Afternoon we went out for supper, and then in the evening we watched this TV show together. And these pictures, these are from Snapchat. Every day I posted a picture of me with these filters because I wanted gold stars on my finals. That's why I was posting them for good luck. So for Christmas, my family went to Arizona to visit my grandparents. They live in Arizona. So I had a lot of pictures, and if you follow Amy Gretchen, this might look very similar to something from her December daily, because I love the idea. I thought it worked perfectly with the pictures I had, and so I just copied it, but thank you, Amy Gretchen, for the idea. So I have 6 pictures on this side with the journaling that goes with it. And as you can see, there's see-through elements, so I don't think it looks quite as cluttered as the other one did. This tag, it's not from the movie, but I bought a Star Wars shirt, so I decided to include it as documenting when we went to see the new Star Wars movie here. And then all of these pictures are from Christmas Day, documenting our presents, family photo shoot, a walk we went on, and then the official family picture at the end of it. In Arizona, my dad and I like to go on hikes, so this is a kind of a page dedicated to that, some journaling about it. It's amazing that the weather there is so much nicer and we're able to go on hikes on, say, Boxing Day, whereas in Canada, Boxing Day you have to be in your bed essentially because it's so cold and snowy. But I really love the little stamp elements. This chipboard is from the Week in the Life set. Just clean, simple layout. I love how it looks. And then to wrap up the album, these are, we were in Arizona all the way until New Year's Eve, so the end of the album is still about Arizona. These are some of the more pictures, and then I printed out some journaling about Arizona on vellum. It's not the most centered. I had some trouble measuring it, and I smudged this chipboard with ink. It's not perfect, but I still love how it looks. And then I ended it with a 6x8 photo of me because this album is all about me. And that's the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick walkthrough of my 2017 album, and I hope you will tune in soon for process videos from 2018. So thank you guys. Have a really good day. I'll see you soon.